Okay, hello and welcome back to D-Vlog here with me. And today I am talking to the British rock legends that are Blanket, and we are here to talk about their new single, Levitate, which is out now. Hello, guys. I heard the single the other day. Well, in fact, I've heard it a few times now. It really strikes a chord with me because I love shoegazy type stuff. In fact, I was listening to Swerve Driver's EP just like a couple of days ago, and I found out there was a My Bloody Valentine album I haven't listened to. So yes, very much of my thing. And my first question was, you've been a continually evolving band throughout your career, with the notable difference between modern escapism and your last album, Ceremonia, where you were quoted as you were taking influence from Britpop and seeing what it was like to be a heavy indie rock band. Where do we find you in 2025?
I mean, we're just elaborating on that mostly. I mean, all our influences still, like a lot of the melodies still come from 90s Britpop and 90s shoegaze, like Ride is a big one. But I mean, it's just gonna be a lot more soundscapey than Ceremonia was. Ceremonia, we tried to strip it back and be more raw, unedited, tuned, and kind of less effects, maybe less reverb and stuff like that. But now we're just going to turn it all up to fucking 400, all the reverb.
I love all that. I love all that. You've been on tour with like Slow Crush, haven't you? And in the past, yeah. I noticed that there's a real upsurge in the shoegaze type of sound. Do you think this is a reaction to how much processed like computer music there is out there, that people want to just hear people plugging in through a bunch of pedals and just going wild?
Yeah, I think so. Like for me, like I used to listen to a lot of that sort of stuff, and then like as I've gotten older, it's become like kind of tiring to the ears. And I think a lot of it's probably social media as well. Like TikTok's played a massive part in like younger people getting into it. Like we toured with Glare recently, and they've just blown up with like one song. So it's crazy, and it's cool to see people getting into like music from like the 90s and stuff like that, and like really good stuff as well. And like modern heavy music for the most part. I mean, and bands are switching now. Like I think stuff like I'm not massively into like anything that modern really, but like I think what I've heard of like Not Loose and Spirit Box and stuff, it's like they're going more raw and unedited and uncut. So I think it must be a thing that people's ears are just fatigued by this modern, like, I mean, I'm not obviously going to mention the other bands, but a lot of bands just sound, well, they have literally the same producer, and it's like the same snare sample is on multiple records, and it is absolutely like fatiguing, but that stuff's made for the charts, you know. It's like, it's not even, you know, that's what it's aiming for, and if that's what they need to do to aim for the charts, then it's whatever in it, but that's not like what we're going to do.
Absolutely. I've also seen recently a swing back to like noise rock and stuff like that, you know, with people like Jesus Lizard getting back together and stuff like that, you know.
Totally, yeah. And a lot of that, have you heard that Citizen album that kind of pulls a lot of Jesus Lizard riffs off as well, which is like, that's cool. Like, it's crazy, this resurgence in like 80s, 90s, like early noughties stuff as well. It's like, it's wild, but
it's good to see.
It is what it is. Yeah, it's cool, isn't it? I mean, Creed's huge again. That's the thing.
It's the best thing ever.
I mean, I especially in the live arena, I think there's a lot to be said for watching a band just like four guys, you just plug in and go for it. No, like sort of safety nets.
You know what? I'm noticing now on adverts and stuff, it's all like, if a company is trying to push their whatever it is, even if it's like a power company, a gas company, they've got like kids playing guitar and stuff like that, which makes you think like it's edgy in that way. And I've heard my mate ask me the other day, he's from New York, and he asked me about like, do you reckon like younger people now, like they're not really listening to rap and stuff much, and they're kind of going towards like bands, and even, again, I'm not like a huge fan or anything, but even stuff like Idols and stuff being massive, it's kind of crazy because they're pretty like noisy and punky, like.
Yeah. Yeah, I totally agree. When I first heard Idols were like a commercial prospect, I was like, really?
Yeah,
Because I like it, but I like some far out stuff, you know. It's
yeah.
like,
But it's cool. It's cool either way, then, isn't it? It's like it's cool that I mean, a lot of these younger people, it's mad in it because they know like one song, and when we played with Glare, like they played this TikTok song, and all the phones went up.
yeah, definitely. So, the single "Levitate," as I said, it's sort of heavy shoegaze, dreamy vibe on it. Is that like something to expect from the album? You say that your sound palette's gone a bit broader.
Yeah, we got the same producer that we're going in with. He's called Sam Bloor. He did stuff like Graphic Nature and stuff like that, and
Oh yeah,
so he's it's kind of weird, but we had this discussion with him about like mixing like you don't know how to mix properly. And that's
yeah,
the vibe. It's like busting out those vocals to like multiple reverbs and delays and trying to make it like, I mean, not horrible, but like make it so like wall of noisy, you know, like
yeah.
And he nailed it in like one.
He nailed it, and he loves it. He likes doing that. He's quite open to just doing like weird stuff, and it's cool. So
so far from Graphic Nature, like what he's kind of known for as well, which is really cool to see.
And he loves it, and he's loved Blanket for years. Like he's been a fan for years. He came and took it. He brought his dad to see us like 5 years ago.
Well,
so,
I've noticed throughout your career that tonality is like a big side of what you do, and there's like, especially with guitar sounds and things like that. There's tracks that I've heard in the past that you've done that have almost Smashing Pumpkinsy.
Oh yeah.
Like with that really warm sort of fuzz, and then there's other times when it's like Deftonesy in places and stuff like that. The one thing that I think drives everything forwards, which still sort of places you in the category of heavy music, is the rhythm section. To my ears, and that seems to be the thing that the underpinning is. The rhythm section is still pretty heavy.
Yeah, and I know what it is. Like, he grew up listening to Pantera and stuff. Yeah. I grew up in a grindcore band. And Lucas, the drummer, who's like been the drummer for a few years now, he grew up listening to like, I don't know, he's like a fair bit younger, so it's like Architects, even like Trivium when he was younger. So that's where all that comes from. It's like kind of whatever music you were listening to as you were first learning music, I think is always going to be embedded in a certain way, which mine was Oasis. So that's where all melodies and stuff come from that era. Like.
Absolutely, I can hear it. I can totally hear it. Is there a lyrical through line on with your music? I mean, lyrically speaking.
I mean, I just like to, with lyrics, I just like to create like a vibe, and it might loosely be about something, but it's more to like interpretation of whoever's listening to it. Again, learn off bands like Oasis, which Champagne Supernova makes absolutely no sense. But to a lot of people, they're singing it with the lighters in the air. You know what I mean? Like they're holding those lyrics close to them. Like
so there's many like songs,
a vibe, and like like power kind of words that I like using, which I have to kind of stop myself from using in different songs. Like, 'cause I feel like I'm using certain expressions too much, but I bounce everything off these guys anyway, and I'm like fully open to as I say, most of it, all of us are open to changes, like in whatever we're doing. So like none of us are precious about, unless we 100% think that's the thing that needs to be, then most of it is kind of tangible. And if everyone in the band is like, I preferred it the way you did it that time, then we swap stuff out. But one thing we've learned is that when we try and rewrite a song, like when we go back and try and change too much, it's not the one. Like we need to start something new. If it's not happening, it's not happening, and just bin it off and start something new. Because we wrote how many songs did we write for this album that we've binned now?
Is it like 8, 9?
Probably like 8. Probably 8 or 9 songs that we wrote and recorded, by the way, and completely binned, because which wasn't really the vibe I think that we were looking at going down.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, and it was a heavy-ish, sort of faster, riffy, like rock
with elements of shoegaze.
There'll be elements of that in there, I guess, but it was a lot of like, I don't know. We just thought, right, we need to have a conversation and figure like what type of thing do we ideally want to do that we can also tour for a large amount of time and not get bored with and sick of. Like, where does our like sort of heart lie in that, you know? And this is it. So currently it's like a bit of a transition with the set of bands like Ceremony and Title Fight did it when they released new albums that were wildly different. And then they tailored the old live songs to like really cleverly fit that. So like Title Fight would be playing like older fast stuff, but almost with like clean chorusy guitars. And it was really clever, like I thought, how both bands did that. So I think that's what we're currently sort of doing. Yeah. But you know, it's one of them things, isn't it? Like people, for the most part, people I don't think liked that Title Fight. You know, that Hyperview kind of got like slated a bit, but artistically as well, it's cool as fuck. And like, yeah, I love it. So
absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, I think there's a lot to be said for writing for your own ears first. You know, rather than writing what's expected of you. You know. So for your band, I mean, you seem to be a band. I wouldn't say you're reinventing yourself. I'd say you're evolving as you're going along, because none of it sounds like you could play your older songs and your newer songs on a set, and they'd fit perfectly well together.
Yeah.
Even though you've like slowly changed and evolved, and you know, and I think that's what bands should do, isn't it? Really.
Yeah.
And if you're being true to yourself, that's going to happen, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think we toured with Greg from Dillinger as well, who's now like doing his solo stuff and he's in Better Lovers and stuff. And we
absolutely.
And that Dillinger and Ben Wyman were always like massive like influences on like how to just not really care like what their fans think. And it actually annoyed me at the time because I was a fan of the stuff they were doing and the new stuff I wasn't a fan of. But I respected the ballsiness of just going like, oh well, obviously we're just going to write what we want to write, and like that's just going to come out. So, yeah, took a leaf from that book, definitely.
Well, I was going to ask you about that band, because you've toured with Better Lovers and with Greg on his own. Is that correct? Yeah?
Yeah.
So those Better Lovers gigs, man, I mean, I've been at a Better Lovers gig, right? And it was mental. It was mental. Yeah, crazy. Like, they were all in the audience. But, so how was it warming up for that crowd? Because that's some batshit mental stuff, that is.
Yeah, it was all right. I mean, it's like, obviously, I mean, they asked us to be on that tour as well, so it was cool.
That's incredible, yeah.
Massive. And I also like that they would do that, because it's like, I find it stupid when like you go see 4 bands that all sound similar. Like, why would I want to go watch 4 bands? Like, if I was going to watch death metal, I think going to watch 4 death metal bands is mental. Like, I think it'd be much cooler to have one that's like, you know, they could all be in that sort of genre, but one, more variation. So
yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
Obviously, people weren't stage diving for us, but that's fine. Like I'm happy. Like when we're playing, if people are sort of moving a bit and like that's the music. Like it's not specifically written for stage diving heaviness. It's just like vibey. Like if I see people like almost filming on the phone or in a daze, nodding their head in a daze, that's the that's the intended like reaction.
Absolutely. I mean, one of the best gigs I saw last year was Mogwai, you know, and that was just it was just phenomenal, and none of that involved any headbanging whatsoever. Well, actually, towards the end, it did actually.
They are probably one of the loudest bands I've ever seen in Mogwai.
Oh yes, without a doubt.
The guitars, I saw them in Manchester, and the guitars were literally the loudest thing I've ever heard.
There's a band called Fuck Buttons that I saw. They might have been a bit louder, but that was just frequencies damaging my eardrums. To be honest.
Have you seen Nothing?
I have, yeah.
Oh man, those guitars are insane. Like they just have Fender Twins like cranked with fuzz pedals, full in your face. Like I'm surprised the
the front of house engineer,
like a small room as well.
Yeah. So
Amazing.
the front of house engineer probably doesn't even put any through the PA because he's just like, but if he stood there, the amp's there, and it is like cranked Fender Twins, and they have three Fender Twins each as well.
Which neatly brings us back round to why like 4 guys just plugging into amps is the best way to do it, you know?
Yeah. And that's how we're doing pre-prod demos right now. We're all sat down in a room with amps, and we're jamming it out, and we're stopping, and we're making notes, and we're changing bits, and it's the best way.
It feels really organic.
Best way to do it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why we all got into bands in the first place, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, when you can just jam in the jam room with your mates. I think a lot of that's got, I mean, because like my son's generation stuff, they're all like, I wrote it all on GarageBand first. And I was, you're missing all the fun of it, man. Get your mates around.
The magic bits come out, man, when you're jamming with mates as well. And you know, if you can write a song on Logic or whatever, and it can sound good, and it won't sound good in the room. So like that's the key for me as well. Is like, you know, and that's what we keep saying at practice, don't we? It's like some bits you can tell when bits are rough and people don't know the bits yet, but you can tell if it sounds good in the room straight off the bat.
Like when we jammed Levitate for the first time, we didn't really know it that well.
Yeah.
And it was like, it sounds great. Like it's and it's designed to be that way. I think it's like it's kind of simple to play.
Yeah.
Not much to going on, and it's just
Levitate fully. That happened. Like we jammed it in the room. Not all of us like remembered our parts where, but it already sounded good.
So we can't wait to play it.
And sometimes it's like where the bass is hitting tonally, what frequency that's pushing, where the guitars are, and
it feels good.
With Levitate, the guitars are all the chords are like high up, but the bass is like playing all that octave whatever down. So it's like it just resonates really well, and that's the thing.
And you can't beat that vibe when you got all your mates who are in the band and you all look at each other grinning.
Yeah,
because you all just know that that's fucking lightning in a bottle right there.
That's it, and that magic is completely lost with writing stuff on Logic and then just giving it everyone to learn.
Yeah,
that's the thing, and that's the vibe of this whole new record, and that's what we're doing right now. So me and Ash are working away right now, so we're in Scotland now, and then as soon as we're back in that room all of the next couple of weeks before the studio.
Awesome. Right, well. This brings us round to live. Have you got any live plans for the summer? Any festivals, anything like that?
We have loads, and I'm not sure I'm allowed to like mention any of them because they've not been announced yet. But we've got
Takedown.
Yeah, we've got Takedown that's been announced.
We'll see you there.
Oh, hey, cool. What's the other one? Oh, is it called like
Magenta Fest?
Magenta Fest, kind of like heavier in it, but I don't know why we're on it, but. Yeah, we're on that one, and I think it's not really
that's confirmed. I think.
Well, it's not been announced yet, but I'm pretty sure I can mention Thingy, Great Escape.
Yeah,
Great Escape, right?
Yeah,
brilliant. I've got a couple of mates on that one.
We just signed with Upsurge booking agency.
Nice.
So that is announced on Friday. So there's actually loads. So there's 4 tours that we're currently like discussing basically. So it's going to be a busy one.
Yeah, awesome. And talking of signing, I noticed that this is self-released, this single.
Yeah.
Levitate. Because when I first came across you were on Music for Nations.
Yeah.
And you're on Church Road. But Justine's still doing your press.
Yeah, we asked Justine to do it because we get on really well with them guys. And they're so good at what
they're amazing.
They're so good at what they do as well. Like, and it's just nice to have like a mate that you can just message about something instead of the experience. Obviously, we had with Sony, which is Music for Nations, was far different than that.
Yeah,
like 15 people on an email. So
it's really chill. Just messenger and be like, "Oh, here you go."
Literally nice Instagram DM and just be like, this. But the reason for it being self-released is just because it's like bridging sort of singles, really. Like, so for Church Road, it probably doesn't make much sense releasing singles because they're all about the vinyl. So it's sort of a chance just for us to keep stuff ticking. We've got all this music, so we want to get it out. We want to be doing stuff. So It's just us being active. Like I say, we wrote 10 songs that we're not even going to use. So it's like we got another 10 songs for a record, 10 songs that we're not going to use. For modern escapism, we wrote about 40.
Right.
So just
So is the album going to be Church Road, or?
So we don't know yet, but we'd like it to be. We're going to have that discussion with Justine and Sammy like soon. And I love like the album that we did with them guys. It's just such a simplified like deal as well, and just album to album, and it's chill. So yeah, I'm really not sure, but I think what we're going to do is get these pre-production demos first, and then basically send them out for people to listen to, like record labels to listen to, and see who likes it. I'm pretty positive Church Road will like it. So
that's awesome. Right, now the last question I've got for you guys is a question I'm asking everyone this year, because we're going to make a playlist at the end of the year, right? Right. Now you have to put a song on the national curriculum, any genre, for a kid who's just about to leave school, like so about 18. What does every kid need to listen to before they're 18? Any genre?
I mean, maybe it is Pantera. It's a bit. Well, yeah, you know, it's a bit of that, isn't it? Yeah. Before they're 18.
Yeah, before they go to college.
You know what? When I was like 16, 17, I was listening to the first Blur album a lot, and that kind of was like the generation, like sort of, you know, that time era for me. Yeah, I think it's a great album. I think it's very like with which tunes on it? She's So High, stuff like that.
Oh, the first
one. It's a bit like sort of indie rocky, like bandy, like I forgot the name of it now. But yeah, I was listening to that loads, and like
the Great Escape. No,
the one before that.
Yeah.
So the Great Escape
is it the one with the Greyhounds on it?
Yeah, it will be right. That was like the one that I loved at the time, and I think
that is pure indie rock in it. That
I think She's So High is a great song.
Yeah, get She's So High on
song.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, man.
And
we'll take that.
Yeah, get that on, and I'm gonna say Sugar Coated Sour by the Dillinger Escape Plan.
I'll take that too.
That opened my eyes when I heard that Dillinger album. I was listening to No Effects and Green Day.
Yeah.
And my mate took me to see Dillinger.
Yeah.
And then I was like, what's going on with my life?
Yeah, I mean, it's an eye-opening experience seeing that band for the first time.
Mate.
Oh, yeah. I saw them spotting the System of a Down.
That's legendary, that gig. So apparently everyone hated it. Apparently all the fans hated it.
Yeah, I loved it. I saw it at Brixton Academy, and no one knew what to do with it. So like new metal was like a big thing at the time, and they're like, what is this?
Fuck's this?
It was first album as well, like first Dillinger album, just like tearing people's faces off. Brilliant.
Love it.
Loved it. Great. Okay, guys. Thank you, Blanket, for speaking with me today. And best of luck with the new music and all that stuff. And I will see you at Takedown Festival.
Thanks so much, man. Thank you. We'll see you then.